Hi guys! I've got a really cool trap for you guys to play and use against the Ruy Lopez. Today, I'm going to show you one of the most legendary traps ever. Noah's Ark trap. Okay, let's begin. We're playing black here. e4, e5, and knight jumps to f3. Continue with knight to c6, obviously defending the pawn. If white responds with bishop to b5, Spanish game, also known as the Ruy Lopez, a favorite opening of pretty much every grandmaster and world champion. Okay, continue with pawn to a6. Of course, it attacks the bishop. And white's most popular move is bishop to a4. Or, if bishop takes knight instead, exchange variation. There's nothing really special here. You can continue with bishop to g4, pinning the knight. Queen to f6, adding more pressure on the knight. Bishop to d6, castle long. Knight develops, then knight to g6. Just standard opening moves. Okay. From here, feel free to get creative and play your own ideas. Because if, for example, knight takes your pawn. Bro! That pawn wasn't free! You can simply play queen to d4, attacking the knight. And once knight moves away, you get your pawn back. Or you can also continue with queen to e7. Same idea, attacking the knight. Knight runs away, you get your pawn back. Everything's fine. And if white decides to defend the knight, you chase the knight away. After knight retreats, you capture the pawn with check. If queen blocks, queen takes. Then you activate the bishop, putting pressure on c2. And long castle. White king is basically going to feel awkward in the center. Or what if the knight doesn't move? Let's say white goes for an aggressive move with queen to h5, giving check. Watch out, guys. This is a tricky move. Don't play king to d8. Your king side is about to fall apart after knight to f7. Not only is it check, but your rook is also about to become breakfast for the white knight. So go ahead and play pawn to g6. Counterattack! And knight is still under attack from the pawn. Knight will usually go ahead and take the pawn. Don't take the knight back or your rook falls immediately. Here, you're winning. Just take the pawn with check. And no matter where the king goes, or maybe the bishop blocks the check, it doesn't matter at all. You still get a nice, freshly roasted knight. Look at this. The queen is under attack, and c2 and g2 are also in the queen's sights. So after queen takes, pawn takes queen. You're completely winning with an extra piece. So, enjoy the game. Okay, let's keep going. e4, e5, knight to f3, and knight to c6. Ruy Lopez. Yep, we push the pawn. Morphe defense. What if white doesn't take the knight, and instead plays bishop to a4? Columbus variation. A top line that's commonly played by strong players. Okay, let's say we're fine with that. We continue with the Steinitz defense. Pawn to d6, protecting the pawn, and at the same time, opening the bishop's diagonal. If white responds with an aggressive move like pawn to d4, it's still all theory. What's the idea behind this pawn? It's simply attacking the pawn twice. Here, I recommend that you don't take the pawn, because after knight takes the pawn back, you'll be a bit uncomfortable since your knight is under pressure from the knight and bishop, and it's still pinned. And you'll have to make a passive move, bishop to d7. Or if you misjudge the position, for instance, knight to f6, a standard move. Of course, pawn takes pawn. Knight still cannot recapture, still pinned by the bishop down to the king. Or if pawn takes back, queen takes queen, king recaptures, bishop takes, pawn takes, and knight takes pawn. Attacking f7, of course there's a fork threat, and c6 is also under attack. Here, you're going to be down 2 pawns pretty quickly. And you'll also end up with 2 isolated pawns. One of them is a doubled pawn. This is very favorable for white. Okay, let's go back. Because if white doesn't take on e5 here, but instead pushes the pawn, go ahead and push your pawn. If pawn takes knight, just take the bishop. Everything is normal and fine. Okay, we go back. After pawn to d4, here I recommend you attack the bishop, because if pawn attacks knight, just simply take the bishop. Or if the bishop retreats instead, be careful with the Spanish bishop, it's like a sniper. We have to eliminate it immediately. First, we take the pawn. If white doesn't react with the bishop, you strike the bishop. Most typical Ruy Lopez players are very similar to Italian game players. They really value their bishop. So they continue knight takes knight. We take the knight back, and after queen recaptures the pawn, be careful, queen is ready to go to d5. This is a serious threat. If you misjudge it, there's a mate and one threat on f7, and at the same time, there's a threat to the rook. Pause the video. What's your move? Okay, you don't need to play bishop to e6, because white will just trade it off. Here, you're winning after... what is it? Pawn to c5. Here, we're not just attacking the queen. There's also a threat of pawn to c4. This is the Noah's Ark trap. That light-squared bishop is guaranteed to fall into your hands. So white has no choice. They have to play a tempo move. Hey man, your f7 is in trouble. It looks like we made a mistake. Relax, bro. Finish your coffee while it's still hot. How can someone stay calm? Look here, there's a mate and one threat. Queen takes pawn. Seriously? Okay. We push the pawn. Yeah, the bishop is basically gone. But the white queen is going to have a special dinner. No good, bro! So, the golden move is bishop to e6. Here, we're attacking the queen, and your rook is safely protected by the queen. And pawn to c4 is still a threat for white. I'm sure your opponent is going to be thinking hard. So after queen gives check, we attack the queen again. Queen keeps going back and forth, attacking the pawn. Now the situation is different, guys. Your rook is looking much more relaxed, so it's time to push the pawn. Hi, guys! You win! That Ruy Lopez bishop is guaranteed to be trapped. Noah's Ark trap. Go ahead and continue your game. Once you win the bishop, your game will be much easier. Or if the game continues, let's say bishop takes pawn, pawn recaptures, queen takes, knight jumps freely to its favorite square, followed by bishop to e7, and then castling. The rook can now attack the queen, and also look toward c2. If white castles, you attack the queen, and wherever the queen goes... Let's say queen to c3. No need to take the pawn because there's a pin threat, rook to e1, just attack the queen. After queen runs away, let's say to g3, eyeing your pawn, we hit the rook. Of course, king takes the bishop. Bishop to e7, preparing for short castle. And if queen takes on g7, attacking the rook, no problem. We attack the queen again. Queen moves away. Go ahead and collect the pawn on c2. Then knight to g4, pressuring the queen and pressuring the pawn. So your rook will be a bit more fattened up. And white also has to be careful with their bishop. Let's say bishop to e3, trying to defend the pawn. Still, your move is knight to g4. And queen has to move. Let's say queen captures and attacks the rook. We take the bishop with check. Pawn takes, rook takes, and white's pawns on the second rank are about to disappear. So go ahead and continue from this position. Rook can give check. After king moves, bring the queen to a 5 check. After king moves again, then rook to g1 checkmate. Alright guys, that was the legendary Noah's Ark trap. A smart way to beat the Ruy Lopez. Pawn to c5. It was even played by the 3rd world chess champion, Jose Raul Capablanca. Hope this helps, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck, stay motivated. See you in the next video. Thanks!